All right. So, looking at Francis Ngannou, all right, it's nothing but respect. So, the resilience that he's had since a young age is highly commendable, right? So, if you haven't looked at the history of Francis Ngannou, then be sure to look it up. As a young age, it seemed like he was pulled in many directions, right? And he didn't want to be a part of it. So, he had the self discipline to not be a part of those situations, right? And even though his living situations weren't where they were, it's like he had an inner knowing that he was supposed to do something else. All right. So then as he got older, he started picking up traits, right? It's like he took the negative and made it into positive of his living situation. All right. So this shows the mental fortitude that he had, all right, and has to this day. Okay. So then after that, he started and chose to pick up boxing, right, as an art. And he continued to follow this, right? And then he decided to take a chance on himself, right? And actually leave where he was living to go where he believed he would excel. And there was many challenges in between, right? And again, look at his story. Many challenges that he overcame, right, to get to that point, right? And actually, once he got out, there was actually a situation that tried to pull him back down. All right. So then, after going through that situation, right, he continued his mental fortitude and to be resilient and continue to push forward, right. And when he did this, then he got to a situation where people started to see his journey, right. They saw the potential that he had, and the things that he was working on, what he wanted to do, right. So it's like he had this purpose, and it's like the others that he met felt it, right, and they understood this. So once he actually got to that point in his life, he knew it was still an uphill battle, right, to get where he wanted to go. So with that, with the people that he had met that understood his situations, that actually helped him, right, and he had to continue that discipline in the work ethic, right. He picked up MMA, which is mixed martial arts, and there's a lot to that art, right? Or many call it a sport. The things that he had to learn, right? It wasn't taught to him at a young age. So it's like many things he had to learn, right? Quickly. He had to continue the work, continue his work ethic, right? And then, when he got introduced into, the arena, right, that he chose, he started to excel, right? So it's like all the resilience, all the mental self-discipline, right, that he had, the work ethic that he had, right, the repetition that he constantly had to go through to get there, it finally paid off, right? And once he got a taste of that, right, of that success, it's like it propelled him. It continued to ignite that inner fire that he had, and he continued to work, right? He became a champion, all right? And then actually knowing, right, that what he wanted to do with his life, right, and having the belief in himself, he began giving back to where he came from, right? So he got out of the situation, right, and then he gave back, okay? So this shows dedication, right, to the people that got you to where you are, or where he was in this situation. So once that, there was another situation, right, where um, he believed in himself, right, and what he should be getting, right, in return. So whatever situation that was with him and the venue that he was in, he decided to part ways with, right? And then he actually got approved to move on to a better situation. All right. So to me, this shows again the mental fortitude that he had, right? He knew that where he was, he may not believe he was being treated right, right? internally he knew. So he went for another opportunity and he got it. And recently he betted on himself, right? And actually went into a boxing match with the world heavyweight champion. And depending on how you watch it, right? Be sure you can watch the fight or the bout yourself and you can determine. Many say he won, right? He performed greatly, right? Hats off to both men for getting in the ring, right? That's not an easy decision. So I respect both men for getting in there, right? And they both performed. So, right, you check it out and you determine. But I just wanted to get on here and talk about the, resilience and mental fortitude that he had, right, to continue to train this art and know that he wanted to have more in life than to be pulled in negative situations, right? So much respect to that. And I just want to get on here and share that with everyone. All right. With that said, peace.